Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about a Justice League of their own.
We're
going to talk about these rumors again about the Snyderverse getting axed in favor of what people are calling the DCEU.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that Supergirl and Batgirl are going to be the new Superman and Batman, and they're going to basically, overwrite everything that Zack Snyder did. It's not sitting well with the internet.
Yeah, most people don't like it. I mean, we're not talking about just one group of people.
Yeah, a lot of people not happy about this, especially since these incarnations of the characters haven't even been introduced yet, Supergirl and Batgirl.
Well, people are like, they're their own thing. You know, they don't replace Superman and Batman, and they shouldn't. They're their own things.
They do now.
And I forgot about that awful Supergirl outfit. I forgot about it until I saw pictures of it.
Yeah,
and I was like, my God, that thing's hideous.
She looks like Captain Marvel.
Well, she has like they have like the abs on the costume, and it just looks stupid.
It looks like a CW.
It's like those people who wear t-shirt tuxes and think that they're cool.
God, we're going to talk about some of the updates that we can find out there on the situation now. Apparently, Ezra Miller has been debunking the rumor that the Snyderverse is going to get completely axed.
Wait, completely though?
Because he's part of it.
Well, I hope he's right.
We're going to talk about, again, some of the backlash, boycott WB. This is not good for them because now they've got fans boycotting Harry Potter and boycott.
Well, they were already boycotting Harry Potter for other reasons.
Boycotting Harry Potter.
Wait.
Because of
the Fantastic Beasts. Okay, whoa.
Depp, yeah.
We have a few things. They're already boycotting because of Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Then they're boycotting because of J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
And now they're boycotting because of Snyderverse. Is anybody going to show up?
Is anybody not boycotting Warner Brothers at this point? Because wasn't there going to be a boycott because of Ray Fisher too? People were pissed about because Ray Fisher was supposed to be in the Flash movie. Instead, they dumped him, and now we're getting Michael Keaton's Batman, who's going to set up the DCEU. They're going to use that nostalgia bait.
Don't ruin Michael Keaton like that.
Oh, I think they are. I think they're gonna ruin him. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about how it's so weird that you sent this article to me this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about how Sony, at least, is talking about fandoms and how important fandoms are. And, it's interesting. We were looking back at 2021, and you look at all the fan-pleasing movies that came out in 2021. A good majority of them were Sony movies. We had, of course, Spider-Man. We had Ghostbusters Afterlife. We had Venom.
But those are all bad.
Cobra Kai is produced by Sony.
According to this, when you go down to the thing you highlighted, this is the article, and then they go, Sony was the supreme winner at year's end, thanks to fanboys flocking to see Venom Let There Be Carnage and Christmas blockbuster Spider-Man No Way Home. I went to see both of those, and I wanted to see both of those. I saw Afterlife, too. Last time I checked, I wasn't a boy. Hey, look, am I a boy? Check and see.
No, she is not a boy. No, she's not. But yeah, it's never good when only one demo, in this case, males 18 to 34, are driving the box office.
Yes, it is a good thing. And I'm so tired of that. So right off, if the demographic, if they're superhero movies, because it's boys and men 18 to 34. Yeah. I'm like, bullshit. There's a lot of girls who like these movies too.
Yeah, especially Spider-Man. I mean, huge female demographic for Spider-Man.
I would argue too, considering what the movie was and who they brought back into it, people older than 34 were a big part of the demographic as well.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Bullshit.
Yeah, there's a lot of bullshit. There's going to be a lot of excuses. We're going to talk about this. I personally think in the case of DC, though, that this is, we kind of saw them against the Snyderverse. My understanding of the situation, now we don't follow the Snyderverse stuff blow by blow, and there's a whole subculture there. But my understanding was AT&T pushed them into releasing the Snyder Cut. And they did that because they wanted eyeballs on HBO Max. And then over at Warner, they kind of downplayed. Was it Anna Sarnoff?
Yeah.
Was downplaying how big of a hit the Snyder Cut was. And then next thing you know, we've got an activist in charge of DC Comics now.
I gotta tell you, the Snyder Cut, I have a lot of people, most of the people I know in person don't do like what we do. They don't do the pop culture stuff. A lot of them, not pop culture people, were watching the Snyder Cut. And a lot of them said they weren't going to watch the Snyder Cut because they thought the original cut of the movie was so shit, they didn't want to ruin it by watching more. And then I talked them into it, and they were like, oh my God, you're right, this is so much better.
Yeah, I was not a fan of the theatrical cut of Justice League.
The normies.
Yeah, it actually made sense. Like the theatrical cut of Justice League, there were some things in it here and there that were kind of, you know, it was a lighter tone. It was obviously a Joss Whedon thing, but like there was no backstory for the Flash or Cyborg. They just like dropped it in. It made no sense. Yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense. Everything made sense in the Snyder cut, even if it's long.
So the point is, the normies wanted to go watch the Snyder cut. I mean, they were going and watching it too. So it's not like, oh, it's all the fanboys and the toxic masculinity, and that's how we had to do it. Because I know a lot of people watched it. A lot of people I know that watched it were not male. And a lot of people watched it were basically what you consider normies.
Yeah, and, you know, they had a chance to course correct with this. They could have decided to just continue that. Now, you know, I hear all kinds of people are like, oh, Snyder Cut was a huge failure. It wasn't that big of a deal. It crashed HBO Max. Now, again, HBO Max was still, you know, pretty new, and they probably don't have all the, you know, the backup servers or whatever that like Netflix would have.
Why would you release that with not having the backup servers ready?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know how prepared for it they were. I don't know the technical, like maybe they weren't prepared for the number of people that were going to join just to watch it. But does that tell you?
What's that tell you about it? They weren't prepared for it. They weren't prepared for the number of people to come that wanted to come watch it or joined or did it, whatever. Then that just tells you that it far exceeded their expectations, which is, I would think, a good thing.
Yeah, so it did, I thought, really well, and there was talk that Zack Snyder might do another movie, Final Crisis or something like that, and I thought maybe they were course correcting, you know, Ezra Miller, not a fan of his Flash, but, you know, I was like, well, he was more palatable in the Snyder Cut. Maybe
that's true.
We'll give it a go. And also, you know, Michael Keaton was coming back as Batman, and it was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. So maybe they were, you know, learning and like, okay, let's make fan-pleasing movies. No, the rumor is they're gonna throw everything out basically and start over again, and they're going to use Michael Keaton's Batman as the like nostalgia bait. You know, he's the pill and the ice cream, or he's the ice cream and the pill would be Batgirl and Supergirl. I don't know. Anyway,
depends who you ask. Depends
on what's going into which thing. That depends on who you ask. Anyway, nostalgia bait for sure. Bringing Michael Keaton into it. He's supposed to be in like 2 or 3 DC movies. And it's interesting because he's making the rounds now, and he kind of like rage quit Batman back in the day. He was like, they talked about this. And he said that, yeah, he took like one meeting with Joel Schumacher, and he's like, yeah, I can't work with this guy. He wants to do, you know, stuff like Batman and Robin. That's not going to work for me.
He's like, got camp. He didn't want to do campy. It got progressively worse. It really, truly did.
Yeah, I love this. He said, this is what he said to Schumacher. He said, or he didn't say it to Schumacher. He said in this interview about Schumacher. He said, yeah, I remember one of the things I walked away from that meeting thinking, oh boy, I can't do this, where Joel Schumacher said, I don't understand why everything has to be so dark and so sad. And I went, wait a minute. Do you know how this guy got to be Batman? Keaton cites Frank Miller's work on the character as well as Burton's vision as aligning with his own.
Yeah, he is the knight.
He is the knight.
Right, yeah. The whole point is it is dark. That's the point. And when you try to go with, you know, what was it, Batman Forever or that kind of shit, it's got worse and worse because they try to go campy and funny, and it just...
Well, it's interesting because, you know, we talked about before that, you know, you have to kind of win fans back after you burn them, and, you know, The Dark Knight didn't do... Or not Dark Knight, Batman Begins didn't do that well initially because I think people were afraid they were going to get another Batman and Robin, and then once the word got out that it was actually a pretty okay movie, then people got pumped for The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, you know. But that being said, like he's basically like the harbinger of doom here. Like he's the one that's supposed to be bringing this new version of the Justice League of our own in Shazam because he's non-threatening.
Pretty much.
I guess, you know, so it's like, this is like a mishmash. Like what the hell? No Cyborg because reasons. No Henry Cavill. No Batfleck. And
well, he was already leaving already. I mean, that wasn't
that wasn't really a surprise. Honestly. But still, it's like this is not the lineup people want to see. So now there is severe backlash. Of course there is. Anytime you mess with the Snyder people, there's backlash. You know, because they're toxic.
But it's not just them, though. I mean, from my understanding, it seems like a lot of people, not just the Snyder fans, are like, "What the hell are you doing?" Because it's surprising to these people. There's a lot of women out there who go to the movie to see Superman and Batman.
And Henry Cavill's ass.
You said it. I didn't. If you wanted to go look at Henry Cavill's ass, that's fine with me.
I have something to tell you.
And we can talk about it.
Okay, we
can appreciate it together.
We can bond over Henry
No,
Cavill's
seriously,
ass.
I don't check out Henry Cavill's work. But anyway, I'm just saying, there's women go to these movies. I mean, like Wonder Woman's awesome, strong female character, and I think she's very pretty. I watch Wonder Woman movies because I think she's pretty. I think she's awesome. I love the character. But Spider-Man. I'm not Spider-Man. I'm in the wrong universe. Batman.
You're a fake geek girl.
We just did a Spider-Man video before this. Batman and Superman. Girls go to see it. They like the kids, like the characters, and like the actors. I'm not saying that you can't like, these other characters, like Batgirl, or is that Batgirl in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Supergirl, whatever. You can like them too. It's just that they're side characters. I'm sorry, but they are. And, they're not the main. They shouldn't be replacing the main characters. They should have their own thing. They should have their own movie for themselves and be part of the group in another way. But you don't have to take them out to put them in. You don't have to take the dudes out to put the girls in. You can all play together. It's co-ed. They're adults. It's all good.
There you go. Shit, here we go again, coming from We Got This Covered. There's nothing quite like the Snyderverse fandom out there in the pop culture sphere, with supporters of Zack Snyder's DCEU refusing to give up a fight that Warner Brothers aren't even interested in fighting at all. Barely a day goes by without calls for the restoration or resurrection of the mythology, while Twitter users have subtweeted the studio, HBO Max, and even incoming corporate overlords Discovery on virtually everything they post. Their dedication can't be faulted, even if the 4-hour version of Justice League is the sole morsel they've been given to feed on, which was more than enough to see it become one of social media's most talked about projects of 2021 that also crashed the servers. But, let's not do more of that.
Well, they're not wrong. I mean, it doesn't matter how much you yell. They already decided to step over you.
Yeah.
Right or wrong.
So, yeah, that's it. It was a crumb. I think it was, again, my understanding was it was greenlit via AT&T and they're, scraping Warner off the bottom of their shoe at this point. But everybody wants to boycott Warner Brothers for various reasons now.
I was reading that and I was like, what?
Talking about, James Gunn. Make no bones about my feelings for Cavill regarding the campaign, but I do want him back as Superman, however, only if it's in the service of Zack's 5-film arc.
He might have just dodged a bullet getting out of it, though.
He might have.
Now he can go on and do other things that might be better.
Just not more Witcher. Get out of the Witcher, too.
Well, he's only one there, apparently, that seems to know what he's talking about. Anyway.
Yeah, right. People have spoken. Twitter even gave it a little description. Boycott. WB. Some are pushing to boycott Warner Brothers over rumors, which the Flash star Ezra Miller denied.
They're trying to damage control.
Denied damage control. No Snyderverse, no money.
Well, I'm hoping that Ezra Miller's right, and they're not undoing everything, but they're still getting rid of some of these superheroes to sideline them for the female versions.
How could Ezra Miller stand by and let them fire Ray Fisher like that? Isn't that toxic of him?
There you go.
Her.
Them. I don't know. I don't know
what Ezra
I
Miller,
can't keep track.
I can't. Anyway.
All I remember is they were beating somebody up at a bar or something.
Yeah.
Allegedly, possibly, maybe, supposedly.
Ezra Miller, choke slammed a
I
Norwegian
don't know.
lady or
There
something.
was something like that.
There was something
like that. Allegedly.
With a smile on his face,
Allegedly, yeah. Covering my ass there, guys.
Next time Warner Brothers Pictures shines the DCU in the sky, don't go to it, bury it, consider this mercy. And attempting to silence the fandom, Warner Brothers pours gasoline into a blazing fire. They tend to do this. But the thing is it's not just the Justice League stuff. It's everything else. The Harry Potter stuff. It's all kind of blown up.
I think this is funny, though. I don't care if bloggers hired by Warner Brothers tell me to move on. This is probably true.
I would fight for restore the Snyderverse until the end, even if Jesus told me the same. All right. I just think this is going to get really ugly. I think once normies catch wind of what is potentially going to go on.
They're not going to catch wind. They're just going to wait until the trailers and stuff come out, and they're going to be like, what the hell's this?
Oh, they're going to bust out the member berries and be like, hey, you remember Michael Keaton, Batman? Yeah, this is just like Spider-Man, where we bring all the old Spider-Man back.
Well, that's what they were happy about. People were happy about Michael Keaton coming back, and at first they're like, oh my gosh, maybe Batman Beyond would be great, and I think they should use him for that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But that's what they're doing. They're trying to bring him in to try to they're trying to do like Spider-Man did. Difference is Spider-Man actually treated this character as well and kept it being Spider-Man. It's not Spider-Woman.
Yeah.
Spider-Gwen. It's Spider-Man.
Spider-Gwen. I'm waiting for that one. They're gonna kill off Spider-Man and be like, yep, it's Spider-Gwen now. So anyway, this is what is supposed to be going on. According to Ezra Miller. Fans are going crazy thinking the movie is erasing Zack's movies. They don't see the potential this movie will bring. No power or force in any known megaverse would or could ever erase Zack Snyder's mighty works. You still have it. You still have your original trilogy.
Yeah, that's not what's being said.
You can take that quote, take that to the bank, to the press, to the schools, to the military, to the other pillar of capitalism I'm forgetting, because that thing where you try to think of a group of things you always forget. Oh my God, he's always the Flash. Flash is always Ezra Miller.
I can't say anything. I talk faster than he runs.
He doesn't even run like a normal person.
He doesn't. He's like, oh.
It's like, I don't even understand what he's doing.
He has to run weird and kick his legs out, because if he does it, the Speed Force will crush him. I have no idea. I'm just making shit up. That's what he does.
He's like the Speed Forest. It's like, run,
Forest,
run.
Forest.
The Speed Forest. Run, Forest. Run. No. This is how these celebrities always do it. This is what always happens. They're like, oh, I lied by omission. It's basically going to be like, oh, nobody's going to erase Zack Snyder's movies. We're just going to split off in a totally different timeline and never refer to them again. Mm-hmm. It's not. But
they're still there.
They're still there. You can still go buy the DVDs and the Blu-rays.
Which technically is completely true.
Right.
So it's not lying, but yeah. That does seem a little bit like,
Yeah, he should have said, no, we're going to continue. But I mean, obviously, they're not continuing in the trajectory of Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder wouldn't have brought Michael Keaton's Batman into it for reasons.
I mean, if they were doing Batman Beyond, that would be amazing. But unfortunately, they're not. But
all of this potentially fan-pleasing stuff they could do. Now,
why please fans when you can just piss them all off?
Why please them when you can just piss them off? Because they said they're even like, it's problematic. It's problematic because it's just that demographic, those males, those 18 to 34-year-old males.
I love this. Audiences are tending to come for that one particular film or that special experience, but have not completely changed their habits back yet. And I know they're talking about diversity and stuff in this article at some point too, about the movies and stuff.
Well, that's what this is about. And again, going back to who's in charge of DC now, it's Daniel Cherry III, DC Comics. And I'm assuming he has some input into what happens in the movies too. And look at what's going on in DC Comics. I mean, they are bending over their superheroes and literally and effing them over, literally. Look at poor Superman. Look at poor Superman.
True.
Superman
got the steel.
He got prison sex. Yeah, that's what DC is doing to his character. So I'm kind of secretly hoping that once Discovery absorbs Warner Media, they'll be like, yeah, okay, let's look at Sony. Let's look at what they're doing.
But this stuff's already going to be, too far along for them to change it. Technically, they could just change it when they got there, but that would cost them so much money.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, I don't even, they would have to, like, burn it down, start over again.
I'm just going to remind you of Sonic. Everybody said this is a bad idea, and they listened, and it worked out really well for them.
Yes.
I'm going to leave you with that thought.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. All right.
Yep.
Gonna wrap it up?
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.